All right. What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and thank you for tuning in for another fantastic live stream. Markets, as of right now, we have the NASDAQ just up just a very much of a smidge of a hair here. We're up about 25 points. Again, we're talking about the futures here. So the market futures here again, S&P 500 is flat, gold's down nearly 0.5%. Bitcoin is the one that a lot of people have been talking about. This thing has been kind of coming back up here quite a bit here. Of course, being a little bit of a trading lower due to a pretty steep correction in the overall Bitcoin price. They had some kind of like a Bitcoin convention somewhere in Miami, and it got a little misconstrued over there. I don't know. I didn't really too much read into it. The RUT and the NASDAQ are the ones that I always really look at, especially with the NASDAQ trying to make our way back up to that previous high, well above that 14,000 plus. Really want to be kind of coinciding this with the QQQ, kind of just breaking it into smaller numbers. If we go into these little smaller sections here, you can kind of see here trying to get back up to that 342 plus. Of course, this week has been fairly strong, even kind of coming back here with the potential market moves of fears of inflation kind of dying off every little bit, just the overall growing the economy, things coming back to normal, doing air quotes there. I'm really seeing this kind of coincide to see this potentially push the market overall a little bit higher here. But yeah, so again, Mondays are always kind of a tail back and forth, and we'll definitely have to see on how that goes. Looks like a lot of folks have joined Alpaca, Kelly, John, Jason, and Dave, the most generic American names. What's up, fellas? Let's look at some stocks. Okay, right off the bat, Jason's asking for Airbnb. Yes, Airbnb. So looking at this chart here on the daily side, it's looking like it wants to kind of make its little move higher here, Jason. So by looking just strictly at the previous moves here in the fib cluster here, we are at a pretty key significant in the short term support around 142. That's going to be your short term support on the way down. The stronger support is going to be potentially coming into that 135 to 134 if it does pull back. Again, we're looking at the daily chart here. Again, the stock just came public last year. A very key line here in the short-term overhead resistance is going to be that 34 EMA here. So around 150 to 151, it's going to be a very significant level to kind of see if we can kind of break through the roof, as they say, and maybe get our way back up to 160 and really up to 170. 170 would be a very key level of being very getting back into the groove and trend of things. Really seeing this kind of selling off that kind of came through, seeing somewhat of a dead cat bounce. The dead cat bounce would go away if we see it back up to that 150 plus to 160 potentially there. But yeah, it kind of could be a nice little recovery there on that one. Dave, what's up, my friend? Yeah, SENS. Yeah, this one has got that FDA approval. This thing kind of shot the lights out last week. Because a lot of people have talked about it here. Really broke past, again, that 357 here. We're still working with the very first Fibonacci sequence that we've talked about, Dave, here. And there's another sequence that I wanted to show. So swing high to low right here. So it's lining up in the short term. We are seeing this is that 50% retracement there, and it hit it last week, which is at 421. Isn't that funny, right? And seeing this potentially kind of create that recovery there. At the same time, we are seeing in the short term some support around 350 to 357. So that's $3.57 to $3.50 there. If we do see a pullback, that's in the short term. A little bit stronger support would be potentially coming in around that $3 range. Again, this is a very fast moving stock, very news driven kind of stock, and very much is going to be emotionally traded for the most part, and seeing it kind of move at those levels there. To the upside, we want to start seeing that potentially the next level to kind of break. Ceiling resistance be around $4.44, and again, that all-time high that we saw earlier this year was around 556 there. So we'll see how this one plays out. Again, very much this is going to be the tail of the FDA approval and seeing it really kind of ramp up if we start seeing some more, getting some more focus on that. Alpaca says CWC's covered calls to get me money back, ideally around the dividend dip. Yeah, that's a good play. Like, again, like I know you talked about this one. What was the one in Arizona that you were pinging about earlier? It might have been a couple days ago, actually. At this point, it's been kind of scattered my brain. I wanted to do this fib here from the swing high to swing low to swing high, and really highlight that level here. From the swing high to low to high here, again, that's a Fibonacci retracement here. We are seeing some significant, again, the 50% retracement is not a Fibonacci number, but the 618 is, and we're seeing it kind of create that balance here around, basically around $12 here, and maybe seeing it kind of a bounce here, and hitting a little bit of resistance around that $13.23. So potentially looking for this to kind of break out here, because you can see here via the chart, we're going to just draw a little oval here. We're going to move that there. So that is that. You can see that potentially creating that. And then we can do another one right here. So that's going to be potentially the case of seeing it blow past that. Maybe create some more chop here, but we'll definitely have to see on this one. It looks like potentially to see if we can kind of get past that again. But yeah, dividends. This thing does pay a nice dividend, I believe, like 8 cents per share for whatever it is, $13 stock at the point right now. But yeah, fantastic, right? John, I hate to bring up Tesla again. Hey, we can always talk about Tesla, my friend, John. Always, always, always. Tesla, of course. I didn't see that earnings. What analyst said that? Excuse me. So just doing some basic Fibonacci sequences here. We talked about that $557 level being a potential significant level of support here. As of right now, it's been holding. The next level of resistance, that $600 range, has been kind of where we just kind of been bouncing around here. Can it hit that 15 or you hit 1,000 something? Sure, why not, right? Like, I'm not going to tell something that can't do something. That's the next really number in the Fibonacci sequence. If we really get past that $900 previous high here, we're going to be looking for 997.85. And that's in the short term. If we do see that, again, in the short term, meaning like 6 months, that's kind of like the short term in that sequence. Unless we have, again, Tesla. I think we all know and love Tesla. If you're, depending on who you are, it does make very volatile markets. But at the same time, when it doesn't do anything and kind of clutters up like this, it usually kind of builds like a rubber band around watermelon. Again, you putting thousands of rubber bands around this ginormous watermelon, it's going to pop. It's going to go. It's going to squirt higher. It's going to maybe potentially blow lower here, and maybe see it go lower. Again, who knows? The catalyst as of right now for especially Tesla would be around opening of the Austin Gigafactory, of course, Berlin, and more information about the Cybertruck and so forth there. And really seeing the Model S Plaid doing very well. Greg, when is Apple ready to spring to life? You and me both, man. Like AAPL is, this thing has just been so dormant, but it's been holding fairly well here. So I kind of drew this box here. So we're going to duplicate this kind of box here, kind of creating that same kind of method here. same kind of time frame. So I did a complete copy of it, so it makes it the same exact size here. Potentially, we have a squeeze setting up here, Greg. So basically, if we can see this continue to stay above the 144 EMA on the daily side here, which is basically around that 124 to 125 range, we could easily see this potentially work its way higher with some kind of positive news, get back above 130. That's going to be a very significant level there, and maybe we can try to puncture and jump upstairs to this floor here to kind of see if the next level we can go here. If that doesn't hold, again, in the short term, 124, 125, but then we have a pretty significant level around 120 to 121 there. And then PayPal, you say? Let's look at PayPal. Actually, I don't look that at much as I should, actually. Yeah, PayPal, same kind of notion here. Really holding that 144 EMA here. That's that green line here. Potentially kind of creating this atmosphere or this potential momentum here to kind of hold here. As you can see here, if we do a very basic Fibonacci sequence here, it is having problems at the 618, which is a Fibonacci number, to around that $276 here. So if we do continues to kind of stay above this or stay below this, that's going to be trying to create that momentum to break higher. As you can see here, we actually hit this 1, 2, nearly 3 times. So this will be the 4th opportunity. So I'm going to be an eternal optimist on this one as well. I would love to see this one kind of break past this. We don't have any earnings catalysts or anything on that side there, but this is definitely something, again, I don't know on how people are looking at this, if it's like a short-term kind of momentum downwards because of the Bitcoin prices, and it's not like Square, because if you look at Square, it kind of got hit a little bit more significant and actually broke past the 144 EMA, and it's a little bit of a lagging compared to the PayPal there. DJ is asking for Nvidia has been strong lately, another $20 push. Nvidia has so much potential of this whole momentum right here has just been nothing but just waiting and just seeing and waiting for what to happen here. We're looking for this one here to kind of see this finally pop out, and it's finally breaking to these very high significant levels here. I don't want you to see my options orders. I actually had the $800 call, like it was like I probably bought it well over a year ago. I bought it like, I think I bought it maybe like summer of last year on this momentum move. I thought this would just kind of continue and make its way up to $800, but of course that didn't happen. And I don't want to look at that pricing there because it got a little nasty, but we'll just do it for fun anyways. I think I had the leap for this year would be here. Well, it's going to be quite nasty. $800. Let's see here. I think it was the $800. Maybe it was a different month, but I bought it. It must have been a different month. I must have bought it at a different time. But yeah, this is finally coming back to like where it was break even. But anyways, that's the past. I'm seeing this potentially going higher here for sure. Like a lot of these stocks have been somewhat lagging here, especially with Nvidia, looking very strong here, breaking into new territory. In the short term, we're just looking for this continuously 8 EMA here, which is that little purple line here, to kind of see this continue kind of like staircasing up. But with Nvidia, anything can kind of happen if we start hearing some shortages again or blah, 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 who knows what. This is definitely could be a kind of a little small pullback there. Guys, ladies, gentlemen, thank you very much. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate that. It helps me and the YouTube algorithm kind of push out the overall fantastic live stream. Alpaca says Arizona GWRS. Yeah, that's one. Thank you, Alpaca. Yeah, I like this one. This is the one I think I bought. I have an order for this one to buy on Monday because I was looking past this. I'm going to make sure I double check that on my Tastyworks trading account. But yeah, this is kind of holding here. Again, if you're not familiar with, we have a Discord as well if you want to join that. Alpaca's bringing up some great research on looking at the basically water being the new black gold, or the new oil, in the sense of like the droughts that we're seeing across the Southwest United States, and how trucks and stuff needs to be imported and all this kind of stuff. I think that he's onto something here with this whole water kind of thing. And we're playing it through GWRS and then CWC something. I forget the name of it. I'm dyslexic, so I forget. But yeah, great stuff there. Always love it. Jason says, I entered into coin at 218. Your thoughts? So you got into Coinbase. I haven't looked at that one the last week. Yeah, this is the sad thing. Huge hyped up kind of stock here, and now it's kind of been slowly kind of dragging lower here. This, you said at 218, so you're kind of okay. You're kind of maybe getting this little, in the short term, there's not too much like significant data that we can look at here and really kind of create some kind of a trend, or kind of like a looking at the technical side of the stock here. This is clearly just kind of slightly downward trending. So the best way to kind of look at this one, it kind of reminds me of a Snow, where Snow had that huge pop up. It kind of did nothing and then kind of came lower here. So this potentially can just kind of trade lower here until we start seeing some more quarters come out for coin. More or less like, it already had one earnings report, potentially one or two more. Maybe we can kind of get a better understanding where things are going there. I know it's a fantastic company. It's in a brand new space, a lot of excitement going on there, but it needs to kind of fall in a line here. It's very difficult to buy these direct listings and IPO stuff there. Gamer God says CLNE. LNE. Not familiar with this one, but this is the energy stocks did get hit last week, as you did see that. This thing, I don't know what happened on this one. This thing looks absolutely insane here. Definitely something that is really making a strong comeback here, potentially looking for some levels to kind of breach up to eventually that $13 to $14 level, but not knowing too much significant about this, and this really kind of driving up a lot by momentum here. Potentially, you're seeing just initially here that $14 range being somewhat of a level we would like to see kind of break above there and kind of get back above that. John says, I love the excitement around Tesla. Yeah, I love, it's like great, like watching the live stream, like you're seeing Elon just talk about things. Like, he clearly didn't rehearse at all. He just kind of went out there and just did his thing and just talked about the company that he loves. Did you see the wedge on Square? I see a pop on the TTM squeeze. John, let me go Square. Let's go back. Let's see, 3 weeks. Yeah, so on the weekly side, John, yeah, I can definitely see that wedge kind of forming here. Definitely the squeeze is building here. Again, if it's tied to Bitcoin, who knows what's going to happen there, but looking for this to kind of continue to stay above at least the 210, the 210 to 211 range, and maybe seeing this kind of really kind of trade above that and really see it potentially pop up to that 240, 260 range there. But yeah, I definitely, depending on how the options look, this is something I could be selling some premium in. So John, thank you for bringing that back to my attention. Just for the folks at home, this is on a weekly chart, okay? This is not a daily chart. This is a weekly chart. So this goes back 3 years. Again, that has been nothing but a tremendous rise up in this stock here. It's been absolutely insane here in the membrane. Absolutely gangbusters. So we go swing high, swing low. This is the low here, right? Not really, yeah, not much. It's not too much we can do on a crazy upward rocket ship that we're seeing here. Alpaca saying coin is getting beaten up. Yes. Yeah, again, yeah, right. Alpaca, you've been doing this long enough. You don't know. It's hard to say if it's bottoming or not. Like, it's so difficult. I never want to be the folks to call it a bottom here. And again, the volume has been drying up, which I kind of do like to see. It hasn't. If I kind of break this down to a 4-hour chart here to kind of look a little bit a better perspective here. So this is a 4-hour chart here, and seeing it kind of maybe seeing some kind of a capitulation around 425. I'm sorry, 225 to 220, potentially kind of creating some support level there. But in the short term, you're seeing the 34 EMA on the 4-hour chart, not seeing, just continuously kind of driving it lower here. Even on the 4-hour chart, we have not got above that green line here. So 250 is going to be a very strong line in the sand if we can kind of see that momentum kind of pop up there. But you never know, right? Coins, it's a coin toss, right? So definitely seeing, again, the premiums are pretty significant as well. Looks like there's quite a bit of 240 calls on the July 16th, a monthly option, so it's about 33 days away. So yeah, that's going to be kind of a little of a tough price to bid for those. I want to see if there's anything further out. Just maybe. So they're expecting to move in just $30 in the next 30 days. So that's a pretty significant move there as well. So $30 in 30 days, that kind of makes sense, right? Very volatile. Bitcoin's about to go up. Yeah, I think I definitely can see Bitcoin going up. What do you think about Workhorse? Thanks. I have a hard time with Workhorse, honestly. I'm gonna be 100% straight with you, my friend. It's very much the meme stock, right? It's a stock that doesn't have like any kind of like fundamental underlying stuff, and from my understanding and what I can see, I don't see it have a significant foothold in anything. In the sense of just trying to understand its potential place in the market here, and seeing it really kind of create an environment where it can actually do well for itself. The last couple earnings, they have lost quite a bit of money. Of course, the whole big ordeal about the USPS Postal Service deal not going through, and now they're fighting it, and it's just like really messy stuff. And this thing has definitely got pumped up so much of last year. Again, we just kind of zoom out to the weekly chart here. This thing was trading 37 cents in 19, okay? And then 2020, I'm sorry, 19 to 2020. Of course, that was kind of spooning on its way up here around $3, and then jumped all the way just of this year to $42.96, right? Yeah. I don't know. This is clearly hysteria, really much just FOMO and fear of missing out. That's what that means, and just the overall understanding of just of greed. Honestly, I have a hard time really kind of making any kind of case for Workhorse in that sense. Technically speaking, it's finding some support around $11.14. Kind of spooning back up, but it hit its first wall of resistance around $17.22, which we've seen it from that previous loss of the contract, bounce to that level before and kind of bounce back lower. So we'll see on how this one kind of plays out there. But I really don't want to be touching this one with a 10-foot pole. I think that's my personal opinion there. What do you think about CLF and MT due for steel shortage? Yeah, steel. There's shortages of everything, right? Like we've been in some of these stocks. Like we're Ryan. If Ryan's watching, we've been playing AA. We've been playing CG Mining. I forget the ticker symbol for a lot of different minerals and so forth as well. Seeing this one kind of continue to like blast off higher here, you can see here that this has made these very volatile high jumps higher here, and then comes right back down. So we'll see on how it comes up to next week. Again, I don't like to buy on this very tippy all-time high, new high kind of stuff up here. I like it when it's kind of like beaten up a little bit and kind of an area where I feel comfortable buying it. Don't get me wrong, this thing could maybe continue going higher here, but as you can see here in the past, it has seen a little bit of a pullback back to that 34 EMA on that trend sliding there. And then MT, not too familiar with MT actually. Yeah, same kind of momentum here. We're still seeing it hold that 34 EMA here. So it's trying to make its way to an all-time high here as well. It looks like potentially in the short term. AMC is AMC gonna rock it? Sure, why not, right? Like, I'm not gonna be say when you start talking about it in the realm of understanding gamma or the inception and the complex of short squeezes and just seeing the again we don't the thing with the short squeeze, you don't know the mindset. There's no indicator, there's no anything out there that gives you a divisive answer of what people are doing or their thought processes on a AMC. But what we can tell is, technically speaking, it's been holding this $45 range for some time. We can talk about some of the what's going on here? Why does this keep on zooming in here? Okay, we can talk about some of the stuff on what's still outstanding, what is actually the shares allowed short on this. As we learned with GME, the same shares could be short 2 times, 3 times, even levered up. And it's definitely going to be something to watch out for. I'm currently not playing it in any capacity in the sense of that, but this is definitely something that we can kind of see hold here around $45 here. Again, we'll see on how Monday opens up or this week, how it plays out. Potentially level to really see it break out is above that $57 to $60 here, and of course maybe trying to make its race back up to $72. In the short term, potentially going to be trading around 40-45 until we get some kind of catalyst, some kind of momentum. I know from my understanding of reading that the CEO of AMC is going to continuously just be paying off debt by selling its shares. So yeah. Just remember, this time last year, everyone thought movie theaters are going to be dead. Can you take a look at DocuSign? Yeah. Is it Doc? No, it's what's it? Is it Doc? Oh my gosh, I thought I just saw it. Okay, Docu. There it is. Oops, fat fingers. Yep, DocuSign. People call this a pandemic. They call this a stay-at-home play. I say this is a kind of a play for the future in the sense, just because it's actually a pretty good technology that no one really has used until the mass adoption of things and making just things completely simpler. Okay, my mouse is broken here, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, my mouse is broken. That's not gonna be fun. It's like double clicks. Okay. So looking, yeah, okay, my bad. Sorry, I'm gonna stop flashing this. So looking here on the weekly side, we're seeing significant support around here, around 192 here. And then looking for that next level support initially around 235 here. So going back into the daily chart here, you're seeing it kind of break out here. Really strong earnings, a lot of volume here. Really like to see this potentially try to make its way up to 260. That's going to be the next really significant line in the sand here. We're seeing a lot of resistance here before we can highlight it here and here. Let me just actually get the old Epic pen out, and then I can kind of highlight those areas for you. Looking at those potential levels of volume. Let's go here. So we're looking at this level here and then this level here and seeing the potential line in the sand at this 260. I can't write with this. Potentially kind of being the next level of resistance. So if we can kind of see any kind of momentum, we can definitely kind of push past that and maybe test that $290 range. But the quarter's behind you, so that's always good, fantastic news without a doubt there. Jason saying I picked up Penn. Yeah, Penn has definitely been beaten down. This is definitely something that I kind of like to see here. It has been kind of creating somewhat of a base here around $80 here, kind of slightly trading in a range here. Really want to see this back up at $90 here. really has made the turn here. You can kind of see here in the orange and purple line here, it has kind of stopped going down here and kind of starting to almost go parallel with the Fibonacci sequence lines here. And then we can look at some potential ways to see this one potentially bounce or kind of ricochet back here. But yeah, it needs to break above that $90 range to kind of see any kind of significant levels there to see go higher. Exit for Clover, yeah. A lot of people talking about those memes. This one again, I haven't been watching this one too much as like AMC. We are seeing a short-term bounce here around $13.19 here, also around that $13.71. We'll see on this how if it can potentially kind of start playing out here. Again, this is a hell of a move here, right? That Fibonacci sequence we had around 2433, which was what we're looking for potentially. If this does not hold, it can kind of come right back down, fill that gap in, and maybe start breaking below 1188, and that would be kind of creating that ongoing sell kind of pressure and people getting really scared at that level here. That would be a very case of maybe kind of creating the what's it called, the beyond the horizon of like a black hole. So if we fall into the black hole here, that's the horizon, but once you go past the horizon on a black hole, we have no idea what's behind that door. So looking at this level here, if we do see a bounce here, would like to see this back above $15.07, but you know the short squeezes, they're really insane, so be careful on that one, my friend. Please look at MNMD. Yes, that's another one we have, and the one we have talked about quite a bit on the Discord, seeing this one kind of bounce around here a little bit. It's kind of been holding steady here, right? Like it hasn't been seeing anything significant here. Kind of lackluster. Then the CEO kind of stepped down. Very tough one to kind of look at this again from this previous Fibonacci extension here. We're seeing this kind of build up here. That $3.92 to $4 has been a pretty significant range as well. To really kind of creating some overhead resistance and maybe some selling pressure, people kind of getting out of it. Again, this is somewhat, I still consider this a newer stock because it was just recently added into the NASDAQ. So even before this was like, it was just traded as a penny stock, and it was an OTC market. So this is definitely something that's more in the big boy league now within the NASDAQ and so forth. Looking for this one to kind of break back above $4 plus, maybe test that $4.42. But again, very volatile stock, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very speculative trade here because, again, we're talking about using different various chemicals to kind of deal with PTSD, anxiety, and other mental issues that people might be having using some components of hallucinogenic stuff. I'm not saying they're just handing out LSD, but that's where some people want you to believe that, but they're compounding it down where they're microdosing other things, and it's not just people are just tripping on acid over there. It's actually, they're really doing some fantastic research over there and great stuff. Like, they're really trying to help a lot of people here. HS, can you look at SDS FD calls, please? FDS at SDS? What? SD? That better not be a penny. Ooh, what is this? Trust Ultra Short S&P 500. I've never actually heard of this. So I don't like to buy into this stuff because, again, these are just made for like a short-term trade. Can it create something? Sure, why not? But most of the times it's very much just being held for whatever purposes to see it, maybe a potential recovery here, or like a bounce kind of play. Usually if the market sells off heavily in one day, we'll see on how that one reacts, but I don't really have too much to say on that one there, my friend. And then FD, you said FD or FB? Facebook? Yeah, Facebook, still kind of trending. Has been trending. Now it's kind of just continuously going higher here. I want to kind of look at this one at a weekly chart here. Beautiful looking chart here, right? In the short term, we have some support coming down around 320. As of right now, this is looking just very smooth sailing here. A lot of people are saying FANG's coming back. I have to agree with that one because, again, this is definitely something that's going to continuously going higher. And they have continuously being brought down by Congress, and they just kind of sidestep and just get out of the bullets, and they just continuously just grow. But we'll see on how, if you don't are familiar with the matter in the sense of Apple locking down Facebook tracking you outside the app and going into the browser and so forth. So this is definitely going to be something we need to look at. Oh, they raised the price target to 300 for a DocuSign? Nice. Plato, yes. Market's finally making some moves. Yes. Please take a look at HFC. Holy Frontier. I have no idea what this company does. What is this? Is an independent potential refiner. The company produces light products such as gasoline, diesel fuel, jet fuel from this lubricant pumps. Okay, so it's like a play on oil kind of stuff. Okay. FD. You have F. I don't have FD. Didn't pop anything up. Yeah, FD didn't pop anything up, my friend HH. This one's kind of building some kind of base here, kind of holding around that $34 to $35 level. Again, I'm not too familiar with the matter on this one. Looking here on the Fibonacci's, yeah, if it does pull back to that 32-ish range here, also that 144 EMA, which is a green line here, potentially kind of breaking lower here. Really much in a range here around 37 to around 33, and it's kind of bouncing around and just kind of waiting for a significant move. So maybe even a premium selling kind of opportunity there. And then MRK, is that McCormick? Merck, yeah. Yeah, I saw this. This is insane, right? Like, absolutely insane. So we go to 5-minute chart here. And seeing this, I don't know why it was like this crazy line down here going to 15. That's insane there. Very much is kind of just driven sideways here, and not really too much to add on that one. ENPH. Yeah, we talked about this one a couple weeks ago. I think it was around this range here. We talked about this one going into earnings. Mostly not a fan of seeing buying stocks or calls, anything going into earnings here. This is something that you need to be careful about. As you can see here, after earnings, going into earnings was strong, but then it kind of faded after that. Kind of found some support here around that 125 range and kind of curling back up and kind of getting back into that 150 range is maybe potentially trying to make its way going higher here. But again, that 150 range is just kind of coming back into where it was in the short term. What was the hedge funds short on Clover to pull you away from AMC? What was the hedge fund short? I don't remember. I don't know. If you're asking about the short term position or the short float overall, I don't remember. I plan to buy SVXY on the next market dip, says Edward. SVXY. Oh, it's like this is like a ProShares short Vix. Yeah. Okay, this is interesting. I'm not too familiar with these these ETFs that are like basically kind of trading the market in like leveraged capacities. But yeah, it looks like initially that does pull back here in the short term around 53, more support coming into 50. But yeah, we'll see how that one plays out. I have Ford expire on this Friday. Can you please take a really quick look? Thank you. Yeah, I love me some Ford. I don't play the shorter dated options. And especially the way I look at daily and weekly charts, it doesn't really play on a 4 or 5 day basis. But in that sense, we're looking for some support around that $15 range here. It hit that pretty key significant level around 16 and kind of coming right back down here. If it doesn't hold here, we can kind of zoom in here slightly to the 20-day 1 hour chart here. We're finding again that kind of lines up to that $15 to $15.15 continuously support that we're seeing it kind of fall in line here, and maybe seeing some trading sideways. More or less, this thing has been pretty much a pretty significant rocket ship higher here. A little bit of pullback here would be normal here to that $15 range. Even back down to that $14.70 would be just fine, to be quite honest, because the expected move for the week is about 73 cents. So that'd be kind of in line within that range there. But again, we'll have to be kind of see how that market plays out. Again, on a weekly basis, very difficult to see. Is there a stock with the ticker FUD? I don't know. FUD or B? D. Yeah. UBS, AG, Jersey. No, it looks like it's no longer. It went out 12, 10, 20. So there was one, but not right now. FD is a Wall Street Bets term for short dated options. Really? FD means short term options? Okay. I'm curious of your opinion on the shorter dated calls and SDNS. SDNS, this is literally just playing the VIX. This is the basically playing some kind of market move. Again, if I knew the market was going to be coming down for anything, I would of course buy this, right? Like, but timing, especially in the shorter dated option market, I don't play that game. I can't play that game. I'm not good at it in the short term. Most of my positions are held for at least over 30 to 40 days on my options side of things. But most of my viewpoints are 6 months to 12 to 18 months out. So it's very difficult to kind of say if we do get a market pullback here. Sure, we just hit an all-time low. Could it bounce? Sure, why not? But what could the catalyst be? We just don't know, right? Like, but if the S starts to hit the fan, we definitely can kind of see things kind of turn around, and people could be jumping on board and starting this kind of further momentum down. Charlie's asking, HD comeback? Is that Home Depot, right? Maybe, right? Had earnings. I'm gonna zoom out to the weekly side here. Yeah, it could be coming back. It's gonna be a little bit too early for me to kind of jumping into this one. This is something I don't want to be quite touching, maybe potentially yet. I like to kind of see things trade sideways for a little bit potentially, or kind of find some kind of a moving average here. Looking here on the short dated Fibonacci sequence, let's see if we see anything here. Okay, on the short dated Fibonacci sequence, that 307.83 is a pretty significant level. So if we can kind of see it hold around that 308 to 307 range, this is definitely something that can kind of create a base here to kind of see to sell some premium on. You're welcome, Sky. Jeremy says apps and Big C looking good for potential longs this week. Apps is one that I traded a lot last year. This is kind of coming back here, as you can see a little bit here. Had a pretty strong quarter here. It is holding that. It did hold the 144 EMA here, and seeing it kind of bounce back higher here. but that $80 to $90 range has been, look at that kind of crazy momentum that we saw here. It's like almost like a waves in the ocean here. That's what we potentially could be flying into. So we could be flying into some turbulence here in that range here. But it looks like a pretty significant bounce here, and we'll see on how this one can kind of continues. We can kind of give some kind of guidance on that level here. Potentially the next level will be around that $77 to around that $83 range, which we could potentially see move forth. And you talked about Big C. Yeah, I haven't looked at that one forever. What in the world? Yeah, Big C is definitely one that's been really beaten up here. We're kind of coming and kind of hopefully bending the corner here. Would like to see this one potentially start getting back above $62 here. We did trade this one in the past here a little bit, but more of a selling of premium. Yeah, Big C. I want to look. This is they what do they do again? They do like e-commerce. Yeah, big short of software for sales or SaaS for platform for cross-commerce. Yeah, this could be coming back strong. Who knows, right? The stock is a little bit more choppy here. I kind of like apps a little bit better, but both the charts are not my favorite because again, they were very heavily traded last year, so it doesn't mean they have to be great this year, right? What's up, Blue? How does the spread in short-dated options say? What does the spread in the short-dated options say to you in SDNS? Yeah, I'm not going to be trading SDNS because again, what people, this is not me. This is not like a company, right? There is no real saying on this one. This is just something that people are looking at for a potential move. Again, the people are buying these for 5 cents. If we do get a market pullback for anything, these potentially could jump up to $1, right? Or 50 cents to $1 easily. But I don't want to be making those bets because I don't know when the next catalyst or when the next market volatility move would come in. And short-dated options are not really my cup of tea in the first place. They say PLTR and BB will do well this week. It's been stagnant for a while now. It's time for raise up. Yeah, PLTR has actually been doing very well here. It's again has made a pretty nice recovery from its bottom here. That bottom that we saw in the first set of May here, which we saw a lot of markets kind of pull back in the beginning of May here. Kind of coming back here. Yeah, really much is kind of falling back in line here and is kind of just trading sideways here. With this again, I'm seeing less and less people talk about PLTR. Of course, the biggest thing everyone's trying to talk about is AMC, Clover, Bitcoin, all this kind of stuff. But PLTR is just kind of just flying underneath the radar right now and just kind of chilling and just waiting for the next catalyst or really their next earnings potentially and seeing it kind of pop up at those levels there. And then BB, I don't have much to say about Blackberry because again, this one is also very much tied to like the meme and short squeeze kind of stocks here. As you can see here, it's not as significant as the initial short squeeze was the beginning of the year. So kind of somewhat of a more of a dead cat bounce or an echo, a smaller echo of that previous move here. So if this isn't holds or above $14, we can easily see this come back down well below $12.66 to $12.50. Lemonade. Oh my gosh, I haven't looked at that one forever. Let's look at that one. Interesting. I kind of like it. Let me go on a weekly side here. Yeah, I kind of like it. Let me kind of get some of this stuff out of the way here. Older numbers. Yeah, it's almost kind of looks like apps a little bit. Again, it's kind of that same kind of sequence that we're seeing about the previous stocks that did well last year in 2020. seeing kind of a beat down method. Maybe it's over for them in the sense of maybe getting back into the swing of things, and growth maybe be back on the front page of investors' mindsets, and really seeing this potentially really play out here and make some very significant levels here. Implied volatility means HH. What that means is the expected move. So the implied volatility, again, these are the extremely short-dated options. They're not that much implied volatility. There's actually not much volume in these stocks as well. Like, again, in this next monthly or this Friday's expiration, there's hardly any like volume that was actually traded here. You see a lot of people, there's open interest, but this is mostly on selling the premium on these. Even going out 1 month here, we're seeing significant, not even that much significant open interest, and the volume hasn't been that as well to kind of coincide those two kind of correlations. So we're seeing some volume. So someone did buy a nice little chunk as of Friday or a couple of days ago of the $9 calls expiring the 16th of July, but they could be hedging their own position. Most likely, people like to buy these kind of ETFs or these like shorter, highly leveraged kind of ETFs to potentially. I'm saying potentially buy, meaning I don't know what they're doing, right? Like they didn't write in, they didn't send me an email or a DM saying, hey Ken, just letting you know I'm buying 2,800 of these contracts, and then just buying some SPY calls and kind of hedging my position. So there's a lot of hedging that potentially could be going on there. So implied volatility just means on the market move or the, like you can see here, the implied volatility is higher on here once the stock moves out of an expected range or of just seeing a higher movement in the stock. It could be up, down, left, or right. It just kind of creates a higher volume if it starts raising higher here, if it doesn't kind of stay stagnant in that kind of path here. Alrighty, let's do a couple more. Jared, what's up, my friend? Long time no see, my friend. Hope all is well. You're saying bubbles. What do you mean by that? And then Rita says, hey. Couple things I wanted to discuss and talk about is definitely that we talked about a couple of them. We talked about Apple. Apple has been very kind of boring here, right? Just kind of waiting for this one to get some kind of pulse here and maybe kind of get some movement higher here. But I'm really liking Apple, and I also like Amazon. I like Amazon here, holding that above that $3,200 range. I really like this one kind of looking higher here. Let's see here. Sky says Pdsd and OEG have been read, but I feel like it's a great stock. Yeah, feelings, sure. OEG doesn't sound. Yeah, this is a little too violent for me. Again, this is a 45-cent stock. I'm not saying this can't go back to $10, but this is very, very too much volatility for me. I like to sleep at night, and especially if I make a trade, I don't want to lose too much sleep over it. Pdsd, no idea what this company does, but this looks, yeah, huge momentum move higher here on a huge kind of volume here. Again, this is kind of a little bit like kind of scary for me, just because these huge volume spikes, just a little bit too aggressive for my kind of trading. It's just not my cup of tea, right? What do I think about Ally? All it does is go up and it pays dividend, Shane says. ALLY. Yeah, it's a financial stock. I like the financial stocks. I own a lot of XLF. Very much so. short-term support around $52 here coming in there. So this is something that we want to kind of to be mindful about if it does pull back. Again, it does. It has made a pretty strong recovery here because look at this. This almost looks like it's a robot trading this here. Not many people have been like looking at this. It looks like insane here. This is kind of coinciding with XLF, so this is kind of the same kind of play. This is what I'm playing with a lot of the stocks or the financial sectors here. Really seeing that potentially coming out. So if you're not familiar, we have Bank of America. So we're potentially starting to gear back up for earnings. I'm sorry. Let me go back. Let me go back to the weekly side. We're about 3.5 weeks away, right? So 7/14. So about, yeah, basically 4 weeks away, a month away to starting the earnings cycle once again. And as you all know, the financials are the first people to kind of report on that. So we'll see on how those kind of carry us forth there. But I kind of like the financials quite a bit. Can you take a look at Facebook? AKA, yeah, we did look at Facebook a little bit. Again, Facebook is just continuing to climb higher. It's making a pretty strong comeback. We talked about it being somewhat bullet resistant from all the attacks it has had on it, from Congress to people protesting it, all kinds of boycotts and so forth. This is continuing to climb here. As of right now, looks like it's want to continue to upward trend. It's kind of holding a level around 330. Potentially, short-term support is going to be coming around 320 if we can continue seeing that going higher. Thank you, Jared, my friend. Love you too. HH says, thank you. I appreciate your insight and teachings. You're welcome, HH. Thanks for stopping by. Have you checked out ZM yet? No, we have not. So ZM is Zoom. This has seen a pretty significant move of last week, really kind of ratcheting up here, getting back above the 144 EMA, which is that green line here. Want to be showing you this a quick Fibonacci sequence. Oh, sorry, I did it wrong. I had a little trend line there to kind of help me isolate that for someone. Kind of coming in here to that previous level here. That is the 38.2% move here, and seeing that 364-ish range. So that's going to be a level to kind of potentially see it kind of pull back here. If we can continue seeing the momentum coming through and more volume and more buying, of course, going through at this level, we can easily maybe touch that 400 to 407 range, which would be the next level in the sequence there. But very much being down. A lot of people are still kind of categorizing it as a pandemic or stay-at-home play kind of scenario, but I don't think we're going to see $600 anytime soon within Zoom, but I think it's a great company, though. I just don't know how to price it out. I'm going to be serious with you. OEG is he got a play from CNBC. Can we do a please review of Nike? You say Nike? Yeah, NKE, right? NKE. This son of a gun's been somewhat stagnant here. Again, going here to the weekly side, we've had a pretty significant move from the bottom of last year. Seeing it really kind of create like a flag kind of here, kind of just trading sideways here for basically, honestly, the better part of 2021, and just staying above that the 34 EMA here and kind of coming into some almost like a pincer move. It's like a terminology move here. On just kind of making like a scissor or a wedge. Some people call it a wedge, and maybe getting a spurt higher or lower here. Again, I wish I knew it would go. I'm going to be more optimistic on this one. I would like to see Nike go higher here. Initially, some short-term support around 130. We have a little bit more support coming in around 125, but this has been a very choppy market. It's been kind of slightly kind of coming into lower volume and continuously kind of to wind up here for a potential larger gap move higher or lower. So we'll have to kind of wait and see on how that one works out. I love sleep, Jared. Don't give me, yeah, I love that. Dario says FNKO. Never heard of that one. What is that? What is that? What is this? Is a pulp culture consumer product company. The company is engaged in selling a broad range of pop culture consumer products featuring characters from a range of media, entertainment, and TV shows. So it makes toys? I don't understand. What does it do? So licensed properties, movie releases, da da da. That's an interesting play. That is I've never heard. Are those little characters I'm thinking about? I think I know what you're talking about. I think I have one. If that is Fook, maybe that's not. It sounds so familiar. But yeah, that's a great looking stock, right? Like I don't exactly know the business model, but it's holding that 34 EMA, pretty little of a pullback from that 27 range all the way down to 23 here. I'm not sure why, but that 34 EMA is kind of coming to support there. So I kind of like it. I need to do a little bit more homework, but I really like that one as of right now. You can see here that 34 EMA has been pretty significant support in the short term there. But yeah. PDO, it's a breast cancer. Oh yeah, I gotta be careful with those pharmaceutical stocks. Shane, subscribe, appreciate it. Good info. Thank you for subscribing, my friend. Alan says ETF, PAVE, and Jets. Yeah, I like to play the Jets ETF just because airlines are sporadic and the CEO can say something bad can happen. I'd rather just own larger component, even though it's kind of difficult. I like Southwest just a little bit better as of right now because of international travel, especially. But potentially with all the news and all the stuff that the presidents and from the G7 summit that we saw last week, handing out 500 million vaccines to everyone. So I think within the next 6 months, I think that hopefully we'll start seeing some more normal in the world, and especially can kind of look forth in the future some more significantly with other countries kind of getting benefits from that and getting more peace of mind in that sense. But with Jets, very kind of hit that $7 or $28 level, and this kind of has done next to nothing for quite some time here, and just kind of waiting for that next catalyst higher here. And what was the other one? PAVE. Yeah, this is the really much the infrastructure bill that we're seeing here. Same kind of pattern here. Looking for that initial short-term support around 26, but I don't know too much about this and what's actually fully inside of it here. But yeah, it's something to be very careful about. I mean, very mindful about and being understanding of like what's inside or what you're actually buying. Because if you saw Cat pulled back quite a bit last week. Again, like look at that. That's kind of falling from the sky here a little bit. I don't even know what the reason why is, but look at that volume kind of coming in here. It kind of broke past that 34 EMA here. It's looking for some initial, if it stops here at 220, but it looking like it potentially can go down to 210 and maybe tap 210 before it even kind of stops there. Jared says, I've thrown so much money into coin. It's the new big fun now that I'm done buying all the. It's all the new big fun now, and I'm not done buying all the AITX I want. AITX, artificial intelligence com. Yeah, you and the penny stocks, Jared. I don't know anything about this. Godspeed to you, though. I know you have you do your due diligence and your research. MB63 says, I just got here about the reverse repo. Any plays? Is this gonna push AMC to the moon? AMC, again, I think you know at this point that my position on AMC in any kind of short squeezes, we don't know what's going to go on, right? We have no idea. We have no idea what's going to be kind of creating this next momentum higher here. In the short term, we want to stay above 45. but we start seeing some pressure going below 37. That's something that could be a little sketch there. So, but really going to be hard to kind of see on what other people are looking at and trading around that. Yeah, SCNS could be going to the moon depending on that stuff. Twilio. Wow, we haven't seen Twilio in a while. Yeah, this has kind of been beaten down here a little bit. We're seeing a little bit of somewhat of a trying to recover here. That 50% retracement here. We saw that last earnings kind of drop it to that right below $300 range. And now we're seeing it trying to make its way back higher here. That 144 EMA is going to be the next level of resistance. It's kind of bouncing above that right now. I'm really looking to try to get back above that 256 there for Twilio. Jared's is so sick of the meme stocks. I know. I kind of hear you on that one now. What do you think about the EIS on TSX, please? I don't know what do you think about ESI? Wow, that's a great looking stock there. That looks like, again, if it hasn't have a pullback in a while here, it's going to be just kind of holding for that 34 EMA. In the short term, it's going to be looking for that 8 EMA, and in the longer term, a little bit on the 34 EMA there in TSX. Of course, this one has been, I don't know, that was not pulling up there. They sell meme stuff. Okay. Check out CCIV. Yes. That made a pretty significant move because, again, it kind of fell in the line with the meme stocks. I know that this, if Makeshift's online or watching, I think this is going to be churning into Lucid soon, or this is Lucid Motor Company, but Churchill Capital invested 10 or 15% or whatever into Lucid, and I think the ticker symbol is going to be turning soon. I believe, I can't remember right. I think it was Alpaca or Makeshift within the Discord that talked about it. Here, coming into the 144 EMA here, a little bit of support here. Again, it's very hard to kind of create some technical levels here because, again, this was a very significant meme stock and very much just driven up by fear and greed, and really made this astronomical amount of level here and just kind of came right back lower and just continued to kind of get trading lower and lower here. Kind of coming back here, I'm really seeing it a pretty comeback fairly strong here. But as of right now, we're looking for some levels to kind of break above $30 potentially. As of right now, it's not seeing that momentum yet. It's kind of bouncing initially around that $25 range in the short term. So 25 is going to be the short term, and basically some more significant support is going to be coming around the 22.50 to 22.25 there, to some further downward support there. To the upside, yeah, $30 is going to be looking for the upside. Nvidia, yeah, we talked about Nvidia just a little bit. Oh, Jared, thank you for the $2. Check out Net, he says. Yeah, cloud. We love Cloudflare, internet security kind of stuff. This is gangbusters here, really making its way to test that all-time high here. Very interesting. I kind of like this one better on the weekly side. Like, look at this kind of momentum here. It's got a squeeze building up. Implied volatility does not give a rat's ass about it right now. Really looking to see break above 95. If it breaks above 95 with any kind of momentum, I think we can easily reach 105, and some shorter data targets be around 117 there for Net. Looking here on some pullback levels here, initially speaking would be around 88 and then around that $82 range there. And then we want to look at Nvidia real fast. Thank you for the $2, Jared. Hope all is well. Godspeed, my friend. Nvidia, same kind of scenario. Again, it's broken up to all-time high of Friday of last week. Looking to continue kind of climbing higher here. Very much going to be driven by a lot of the overall market, again, on how the growths are coming back, how the rates are working. Looking for that initial support here around the 8 EMA here in the short term. So around that 2 or 690-ish range to be the first level of short-term support if we do get a pullback there. How about BBBY? Yeah, Bed Bath and Beyond. Same kind of thing. This was very much a meme stock as well. Kind of looking a lot like Blackberry here, where the first initial squeeze was pretty significant, but now this squeeze here has not really kind of filled the same kind of shoes here. This is definitely something that could continue going higher here, but it's kind of coming back to that $30 range. We're just kind of falling back into the line where it was before I kind of made that any significant move higher there. Let's do a couple more here, ladies and gentlemen. Sky is asking for ANVS. Wow. I hope you're in this one. That's a beautiful looking one, Sky. That's a beautiful looking chart. That is took off. If that starts breaking a back above 97, that thing can definitely run. Not really too much I can say about it because that's just completely FOMO and there's something going on there I just don't understand fundamentally. I feel like Rocket could be a safe meme stock play, a chance that really takes off and doesn't seem too much room to drop. Shane, that's a good way to look at it. So another one that we are looking at is UWMC. So this is one that has been talked about quite a bit. This is something that potentially could create another short squeeze. Again, I think this one potentially could be building here. Again, this is one that Wall Street Bets is talking about. So there's a great little site that I want to share with you folks here. Let me pull this up here 1 second. Give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail here. Let me go, where was that thing? Here it is. So go here, then we're gonna go to, there we go. No. There we go. So I'll copy this. Oops, sorry. Mabai. Wrong thing. Copy. And I want to post this into the chat. There. So this is a site that kind of tracks. Why is it not moving over? There we go. That kind of tracks what's the popular stock that Wall Street Bets is most posting about. You see NENS on here. You see Tesla, Workhorse, Blackberry, GME. And then you also see UWMC. This one has been talked about a little bit more, and it's kind of been raising up here a little bit. Potentially added into the whole momentum's kind of swing here. You see Clover, AMC, and you see these other two. CR, SR is also one that has been talked about quite a bit here. So CR, SR, again, that is going to be that a gaming stock. We'll see on how this one plays out coming into next week. Very much just kind of been holding this pattern here. So this is going to be something that you want to be mindful about and looking at. It doesn't mean it's going to be going to the roof here, but just it could have the potential to. So I kind of like this one a little bit better than the other ones because it's just kind of been trading sideways here and selling some premium around this range. So this definitely could jump for whatever reasons, right? But not saying you should just listen to Wall Street Bets and just buy what they tell you to do. You got to do your own research. You got to have your own grasp and understand how things are playing out there. Let's see here. I'll donate $1 to Ken if anyone says I love you, Ken. Thanks, Jerry. You don't have to do that. Shane says I love you. Thank you. What platform are you using to use the graphs, guys? This is this is Thinkorswim platform. Jared, thank you for the $1, my friend. CLOV, yeah, we did that one just a little bit ago. So again, very much kind of coming back in this range again. Very much a short squeeze coming in that we saw and really kind of come through here. If it starts breaking below 13, it can easily make its way below to back down to 11 here and coming into that range there. this is something that that could significantly change again. Short squeezes, there is no, it's like a black hole. We just don't know what goes on completely. We don't know the full story. We don't know what the temperatures are. We don't, by the, what we don't know the full extent of how many shares are short. We just don't know the full extent of what people are willing to do. If our people are just going to be hodling, or people are just going to be taking the first level of profit and so forth. So that being said here, I think Clover very much, Clover Health that is very much in that weird category. So be very careful with that one as well. Arc K, great question. Yeah, because Kathy Woodstock, again, this is her innovation fund, her flagship fund that we can kind of see here. Very rough, right? It's been a great year for her last year. It's been kind of choppy here. You have to remember her time horizon is basically a 3 to 5 year investment philosophy. It's been a little choppy here. With that market pullback we saw in May here, it's kind of coming back around here and seeing it kind of start peeking its head above that 115. Would like to see it above 115 to 120 and really seeing that move up to 130 here. Again, the Kathy Wood has a lot of haters, and but it's got a lot of, she's got a lot of fans on her side as well. So looking at that standpoint of potentially seeing here in the short term around a 111 to 110 to potentially kind of hold that level in the sand there. Yeah, I see that. I definitely see growth coming back. Growth always does come back, but I don't know if it's going to happen this week, right? So 120, the expected move for this week for this option is basically $4.30. The 120, of course, is just right out of the money here, just ever so slightly here. That is kind of on the cusp. You have to remember that theta decay is going to be turned on quite substantially here. So if we don't get any kind of positive movement or the stock jumping up for whatever kind of reason, that theta decay will eat the premium away quite a bit there, my friend. So be very mindful about that. NKLA, Nicola. Oh, this is a Nokia. Okay. Nokia, same kind of thing. This one was a that's right. No, Nokia. I was thinking of Knock. Nicola. We're looking at Nicola, right? Yeah. Nicola completely. Could this be a short squeeze? If you're asking for that stance, sure, why not? You can never say no to a short squeeze, right? And especially if there's already a underlining pretty large short position, why can't the Wall Street bets can kind of tip that weight into their favor here? Looking for this one potentially to kind of stay stagnant. Of course, this is a stock that has a lot of history in it. Not really the greatest history, but something to be very careful about. So very much been beaten down, trending lower here. Is having kind of getting back up to that $17 range, which is kind of where it's been holding here around that 144 EMA. Let's see if we can get kind of any kind of staying power into seeing it up there. Sky says, and MBA63 says, love you. Thank you guys, and thank you, Jared, again for the total of those $1 donations. Really appreciate it. And yes, he did keep his word. He is a man of his words. Darrow says, oh, it is TKAT. Don't know what the stock does, but holy moly guacamole. Very much, what did they say here? TKAT is a formerly is a holding company. The company through Hong Kong, just like Equity Artwork Exchange. That seems like a really crazy business there, being a Hong Kong art stuff. Looking like it's potentially kind of coming back down. No idea why it kind of took off here. Maybe it was just because of meme stuff. But kind of coming into some levels here in the short-term support above, below 15. That 100, that's the 144 EMA here. The 34 EMA is kind of showing some support of resistance here. So we're kind of seeing it getting back above that orange line there, which is the 34 EMA here, and kind of seeing some positive movement to see this level kind of create that momentum to kind of get us a little bit higher in that range there. Let's see here. Need a momentum indicator to filter a good squeeze with. Yeah, you can do a momentum indicator. A momentum indicator could be something like an RSI, not an RS. Oh my gosh, a MACD could be a momentum indicator. You can literally go through and find out which one you like on the Thinkorswim platform. They kind of break it down into momentum stocks. So they have momentum studies here. You can go A through M. You have the M through S's. You have all kinds of things. So the ones I normally like are the MACD and the stochastic momentum, slow or fast. It depends on which one is more appealing to the eye. Scott, thank you for the $1.99, my friend. SNDL, yeah, let's take a looky, Lou. It was definitely one. I don't know if you're looking at this one as a meme or not, but this was a stock that really blew up. Again, this is within the marijuana business, kind of coming into some initial support here, a little bit of a pullback here. That pullback level of support would be around 95 cents. That is definitely something, an interesting one to kind of see if it does see that level to kind of hold, if we do see that pullback coming in there. Again, I'm not too familiar with the fundamentals or what the short interest is on SNDL, but initially speaking here, I want to do, it's going to be very stagnant, or it's going to be very difficult to kind of give a very true significant level here on the Fibonacci sequence here. Actually, looks like that 104 range on the Fibonacci sequence from the previous high to low is kind of coming in to kind of look at some potential levels of support here. I kind of like it a little bit below 95, a little bit better here, but can't lie about the Fibonacci sequence. It's going to be in the lower band around that 23.6 percentile move here. Potentially this one was trying to make its way back up to $1.60, but it kind of failed at that level. I never got to that level quite precisely. So we do see this kind of stagnate, maybe potentially that 105 to $1 to 95 cents, potentially, maybe kind of creating a squeeze, maybe staying stagnant a little bit. But if we start seeing this one kind of start going lower like we saw previously, that would be something to be somewhat worrisome. But if this was its only potential market move here, this just little tiny sad kind of a squeeze or kind of momentum move here, it needs a little bit more to kind of get back above that 260, because again, there was volume there, but there wasn't any kind of volume that we saw previously here. So maybe could this right here be this little bounce up here, and then we can see this later, and maybe even this, like, who knows, right? Like, this is something you just don't know, and I don't know the company enough to kind of give you an understanding of the next catalyst, but definitely something, again, to be very mindful about. And it was talked about a lot at the beginning of this year as well. So it has potential large market moves in its DNA, so that's always a good thing. So I can never say that it can't go parabolic, because it has in the past. Speaking of something in the past, NNDM, of course, this one, this is Nano Dimensions, because this is the Israeli company that's making these insanely complex 3D printed circuit boards, very out of a 3D printing device that kind of creates just the lubricant that actually prints the circuit board, but also already makes it with the circuitry built inside of it. So that's pretty groundbreaking there. Been very stagnant. This was definitely a Cathie Wood stock of just last year. We're seeing it really kind of rocket ship higher here, coming back down to earth here, kind of trading sideways here around that $8 to $7.50-ish range, just kind of not going anywhere. We'll just have to kind of wait and see here if we kind of get that momentum kind of going here as well, because again, this has been a little bit of stagnant there. Last one for me, can you check up UPS? Oh, I love me some UPS and FedEx. Both these stocks have been pretty rambunctious. I like these, a little bit of pullback. Most of these stocks, the FedEx stuff and the shipping companies usually do pull back during the lows and the stagnant times during the summer times. But that being said here, we're seeing a little bit kind of pullback here to that $200 range. To 205 to 200 would be just fine for the stock. But if it does starts breaking lower here and starts gapping below 190 and make its way to 180, that's going to be a pretty significant levels of support there as well. Says I use the TTM wave indicator. Yeah, I used to use that as well. I might throw that on the chart to kind of see how that works out. And then W key. Yeah, I usually don't like these. I don't know. I keep on saying that quite a bit here. I don't like these large like spikes up higher here. It's a very low float. You can see here there's hardly any volume. But if it does have volume, it just spikes up. So it's not really my favorite kind of like a trending kind of stock. I like stocks that kind of trend higher and lower depending on which way I'm trading in. So this is not really kind of looking at it. So kind of a better way to look at it. I've been looking at GE. So GE, it's a stock I've been trading here for quite some time here, has been nicely trending higher here. It's been holding that 34 EMA and it's kind of making its way higher. Yeah, there's little bloops in there and pullbacks and gap downs and gap ups, but it's not a crazy, insane kind of a Richter scale in the sense of just seeing a nice little trending pattern kind of form there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think if you got a couple more tickers or something, we can take a look at a couple more here, be live stream for a couple more minutes. If you have any comments or questions, please leave it in the description below or in the comment bar as of right now while we're live. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out the Discord, completely free, no obligations going on there. We always have a grand old time there. The more, where'd it go? The active stock channel is usually the trading live channel. We always folks posting things, asking great questions, sharing trading ideas and what they're looking at, so forth. Definitely check it out. Link in the description and in the chat. Bot is pinging it quite a few times. Just go ahead and join it, have fun there, so forth. Yeah. WNW, says Sky. Yeah, I don't. This was a what? This is insane. 160 goes all the way down here. I have nothing to say on that one. That's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Baba, 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 Alibaba. This one again, the Chinese Amazon, whatever you want to call it, has been trading lower here. I know a couple people in the Discord has been buying it. Initially looking for some support here around 207 here. So that's going to be then its first level here to kind of maybe catch that bounce here. We have not seen that significant support coming up above 220 here. So 220 is the level here that we want to start seeing it back above there. And then coin, we talked about coin. Coin's kind of hard to look at, and it's kind of been trending lower here. Alan, Alan, thank you for the 50 bucks. Can you take a look at HYG? Got some puts, a really long short that's been looking at AMC yet for GME. I think there's a boomers can call up in corners. Can we look at AMG? Got some put HY. Is H? Am I thinking about the right thing? This is the yield curve, right? Yeah. This is the yield ETF. So you're buying puts on this. Can you take a look at HYG? Got some puts. You bought the puts or you sold the puts, Alan? Yeah, Alan's been a long-time supporter. Great fan, great buddy of the channel, and a great trader. Have we looked? Yeah, we looked at AMC and Gme. We'll look at that for you for sure, Alan. And thank you for using all the fantastic emotes there. HYG. I'm trying to familiar. This is the. Is this the inverse HYG stock? But the high yield. Okay, it's corporate debt, right? Yeah, this is the high yield corporate debt. So this is when this was like we saw the market volatility. Of course, everyone's like, oh snap! Like I've looked at this one before. Potentially looking for this one again. Are people buying corporate debt? This is again coming into those levels there. Seeing it here around $87 here previously. If it does pull back here, that's going to be its previous high here. Could see some chop coming in here. Who knows? Like people have been fairly comfortable lately. Who knows if we do get a market pullback? We had someone come in earlier asking about some Vix Etf I've never heard about before, which looks pretty insane in the membrane. But this is definitely something to be mindful about. Again, I know a lot of people who actually just trade this for premium. I'm looking at some options here. Okay, that's super interesting. This was traded. You bought puts in this? Wow. It looks like a lot of people love to buy this to sell premium on this because the upside momentum is not that much in there. But if it is in there, it does move pretty significant here, as you can see here at these two levels here. Wow. Because if it does move down, because if you look at this historically, it doesn't do much upward movement. It just kind of makes these very, very sharp moves down. So this is something to be a little bit worried about. So not many people are going to be going long this. Yeah, we'll see. I definitely can see a pullback. You and I both know, Alan. We chat that we could see this pullback again. We'll see what happens there. Let's look at AMC and GME for you, my friend. Yeah, AMC definitely. We talked this one a little bit here. Looking at this level here, that $45 range is something that we're going to be looking for to potentially kind of hold that level there. If it doesn't hold at this level, this Fibonacci sequence, kind of breaking this down to the hourly chart here to kind of look at that level here, that $45 range falls into that 144 EMA here. As you know, multiple people can sell the same share short, so the data is going to be very hard to buy, and there isn't a real way to kind of get a better understanding than Wall Street bets on what people are willing to do. And we start seeing people dump this. My only concern is we start seeing this break below 40 and head to 37. I think that could be a pretty significant level to start seeing some selling coming in, because again, we'll have to kind of see what the climate is at that time, or what the temperature in the market is. If the whole market's coming down and AMC is definitely going to be going with it, or if the market's stagnant, more people are going to be potentially taking a higher risk into AMC and these meme stocks while everything else has been kind of stagnant. GME, a little bit of a different pattern here because it's still kind of sprucing up here. Since we've seen like three large squeezes in this one, again earlier in February, and then previously again into the March timeframe, and then once again just of last week here. Each time that squeeze happens, we kind of fall into that 34 EMA here. With that pretty significant pullback in the last 2 days of trading here, we're seeing it kind of come into that 209 to 208 range to potentially call that little bit of level support there. If we can kind of see it trade sideways here again, the only reason I kind of like this here is we filled the gap here. We came back down, we filled that gap here, and potentially could be trading sideways and maybe making that run back up to that 260 plus range. So that's going to be something definitely going to be looking at that level there. And as you know, the fun is always on with these meme stocks. Let's do one more stock here. On the topic of memes, PLTR and Tilray, guess it's all corrections, sympathy. PLTR hasn't done next of, it's kind of coming back into, we talked this one a little earlier in the live stream, kind of coming back into play here, holding around that 23.65 range, a 24-ish range, and not really seeing anything kind of just like trade sideways. It is kind of pulling back here. Is it a meme stock? Sure. But I think a lot of people are like not looking at it. Is something going to be more people are looking at AMC and like the meme stocks rather than PLTR? Because again, PLTR from my perspective is a longer term investment, because again, there isn't many companies that are doing what it's doing, and it's just growing its book of business, especially in the government side. I just think that it's going to have a potential for a Northrop Grumman or some kind of other company trying to buy it out, to be quite honest with you. That's one perspective. And then Tilray, yeah, this is Tilray, SNDL. We talked about this one, these the weed stocks. Seeing this again, this was a huge market move here. Potentially, can we see this go higher? Sure, why not? It's kind of interesting as well that we're seeing it kind of come in to nearly the same level here. So we're seeing the $23.6 level for SNDL and Tilray coming down to that level. So if we go to SNDL, guess what? It's coming into that same range. So it's basically trading on the same perspective as if with the sympathy of the different various the weed stocks. Oops, I misspelled that. It's TLRY. Seeing it kind of come into play here. Seeing this potentially coming down again. If it does break below 19, we're going to be seeing potentially in the short term some support around $17.50 to $17. But yeah, this is definitely going to be something to be mindful about. As everyone knows, each week in the market is very wacky. Just like Alan has said, it's going to be nutty. It's going to be fun. Just again, be mindful. Make sure you understand on what you're trading and what you're buying into, and please just don't YOLO everything away. Can you go over Bitcoin and Ethereum? Yeah, we can go over Bitcoin for sure. I don't have a great chart for Ethereum on here yet. With Bitcoin again being up nearly 5% today, so that's a nice little recovery here. We want to see Bitcoin back above $42,000 here and really kind of get it back into the overall higher level here of being more trending. Of course, since it's like pretty large downfall of the last like 2.5-3 weeks here and gapping down and just continuously kind of grinding lower here, we are finding some significant support around the $3,400 to $3,500 range here. Is looking for those levels here to potentially trade sideways here. We could be in a more of a rut, as they call it, so around $42 to $34, and just kind of ping pong back and forth there with Ethereum. Alan says, thank you, Ken, but you are a better trader than my friend. You have helped me a lot. Thank you again. Alan, thank you from the bottom of my heart for sticking around and listen to me look at thousands of charts, and I really do appreciate your ongoing support, Alan, so much. You guys should check out COUR. Not a lot of TA available because it's just an IPO, but super exciting as a long. What's the company? CO? Is it COUR? Oh, I know this company. Is this the company that does like online trainings and like what is it? Like they do online courses, right? They're like Google, like Facebook. They have like everything from like data science to like project management to all kinds of things, right? Yeah, I know this. I think this is the company I'm talking about, right? I'm thinking about. Oops. Learners, yeah. Yes, this is it. Oh no, I did the wrong chart. There we go. Yeah, I know what you're I like this one. I know this company. Great stuff. Yeah, not much technically speaking here, but it's kind of making an interesting pattern here. So it's kind of caught my eye from a swing high to swing low. It's coming into that $47 range. So $47 is going to be its 50% retracement. So 50% is not a Fibonacci number here, but that is a pretty significant level here. Bringing out the old highlighter here, we're going to change the color to yellow. We're seeing it here and here, potentially a level of resistance coming through here. So we can definitely see a momentum breakout or a move higher here. So definitely be looking for that level to kind of look at there. But again, I don't know the full story on this one, but definitely a fun one to watch. FUV. Yeah, same kind of pattern here. Very much kind of beaten down and kind of making recover here. This is kind of like the same scenario that we talked about, Rob, and multiple times in the live stream, in the sense of like some of these growth stocks or some of the stocks that people have been used to of 2020 are starting to come back into the thing as well. Oh, slow mode is on? Okay, I should probably turn that off. Let's see here. Alan, is this Friday going to be 4 witching days? I think it's triple witching, right? I think it's triple witching. Yeah, it's June triple witching. So yeah, normally, so what he means by that shows triple witching, meaning there's going to be, we can kind of look at, like, I think it should be with the SPY. There's other contracts there as well. So it's going to be basically the weeklies, it's going to be the monthlies and the quarterlies, or not the quarterlies, they're the quarterlies, going to be expiring the same month. So people have to roll out their options. So that usually creates some volatility because people have to sell their shares or they have to roll the options into the previous month, and that takes some little bit of redistribution of some of the stocks and indicators and the larger markets to kind of get that moving. And normally you'll see like that the market move more on Wednesday or Thursday of the previous week, which we saw a little bit of activity, but nothing where I thought it would be. So that's actually a good point, Alan. I should probably put a video out to help people make sure that they understand that what's coming up this week. So actually, let me write that down as well. Where the hell my pen just go? Did I eat my pen? Oh, there it is. Triple witching. Triple witching. Coming out this weekend. Guys, Alan, Jared, Scott, I believe. Thank you guys for the donations this week. I appreciate it very much. Guys, if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're not familiar with the channel, I like to do live streams on Sundays. I like to do some live streams potentially during the week and some videos that, some stocks that I might be interested in, but I love doing the live streams on Sunday. It's my like one-on-one time with a lot of subscribers and so forth. And I'm always in the Discord as well. You're always friendly. So always welcome to join it. Completely free. Hit me up. Talk to all the other traders and investors. Always a good time. So forth. Did I miss ITRM? No, I never heard of that one. ITRM. Yeah, it's a therapeutic drug, so stock is pharmaceuticals. So yeah, it's gonna be very choppy here. Nothing too much to say about it, honestly. I can give you a very basic Fibonacci sequence there. Going from the swing high to swing low here. The next level, which we've seen it previously kind of fail at, which is around that $2 range. So that was going to be the next level to potentially try to get back above $2 or $2.02 to be precise here. And the short-term support is going to be coming in around $1.72 there, my friend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, you guys have a fantastic rest of your evening. Hopefully, we'll see you guys this week with some more live streams and some more content coming your way. And again, stay safe out there. Be safe. Trade smart. Have a plan. Have a plan before you execute a trade. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.